Hey guys, it's Jennifer from Live, Laugh, Love to Read. Today I'm doing What Books Have I DNF'd Recently video. So there is there's 3 books that I DNF'd and there's one I didn't even start. So let's just get started. The first one was Paula McLean, When the Stars Go Dark. I only read 2 chapters in this and I just couldn't get into it. And I think the main thing was the writing style and the subject matter, maybe. This follows Anna Hart, who is a seasoned missing person detective in San Francisco. But it says tragedy strikes her personal life. Anna is desperate and numb, flees to Northern California to grieve. She lived there as a child, and now she believes it might be the only place left for her. Yet the day she arrives, she learns that a local teenage girl has gone missing. So the book starts out that Anna is in a hotel room, and she must have just given birth because she is, her breasts are really hurting, they're rock hard. She goes to CVS to get a hand pump to relieve herself, and I'm guessing she has, I think it's called mastitis, where you get fever and you get like a blocked milk duct, and anyway, she's having a really hard time, but she's grieving. So I'm guessing that her child has died. But I am not drawn to books about detectives, and I'm also have to be in a certain mood to read a book about a child that's died and the mother is grieving, and I guess I'm just not in that headspace right now. So anyway, I only read 2 chapters. DNF'd. Didn't like the writing style either. And then I have Pack Up the Moon by Kristen Higgins. Now, my daughter read this and said she loved it and she made her cry and everything. So I thought, okay, I'll try it. It's a library book and it's pretty big. So this one is Every Month a Letter. That's what Lauren decides to leave her husband when she finds out she's dying. Each month she gives Josh a letter containing a task to help him face the first year without her, leading him on a heart-rending, beautiful, often humorous journey. So Josh and Lauren are the perfect couple. Newly married, they're wildly in love, each on a successful and rewarded career path, until Lauren is diagnosed with a terminal illness. As Lauren's disease progresses, Joshua struggles to make the most of the time he has left with his wife. He's consumed with finding a way to avoid the inevitable ending that he never imagines his life after Lauren. But Lauren has a plan to keep her husband moving forward, a plan hidden in letters she leaves him. In those letters, one for every month in the year after her death, Lauren leads Joshua on a journey through pain, anger, and denial. So, okay. Cecilia Ahern, which is one of my all-time favorite authors, wrote a book called P.S. I Love You. And there's also a movie. And this is exactly like that. So in Cecilia Ahern's book and movie is the husband dies of a brain tumor, I think. And he writes letters to his wife, one every month. Yeah, it's exactly the same thing. And so I think that's why I couldn't finish it, because it was exactly the same thing, except for just a little bit different, but it was the same premise. I mean, yeah, same thing. I'm so confused why. Now, I'm sure if you've not read Cecilia Ahern's book, P.S. I Love You, then you wouldn't know that and you would probably enjoy this book. But since I have, I'm like, okay, this is too... Sorry, I moved and I shook the camera. I live in an RV now. If you didn't know that, we've lived here about a month and a half now, and I'm still getting used to the fact if you move around that you shake the whole RV. Yeah. So anyway, I DNF'd this about halfway through. It just wasn't keeping my attention long enough to finish it because it was just so similar to P.S. I Love You, even though P.S. I Love You was wrote in letter form, and this one is not, which is about the only thing it had going for it for me. Yeah, because P.S. I Love You movie was way better than the book for me, and that's not normally the case, but I don't really like books wrote in letter form, and this one was not. So if you have not read P.S. I Love You, you might want to read this. I'm sure it's really good. Like I said, it was good at about halfway through, but I just wasn't into it. So I DNF'd it. Okay, so the next one I DNF'd was The Soulmate Equation by Christina Lauren. I'm not a big fan of Christina Lauren books. I know it's a best friend duo that writes the books, and I know this is really popular, but it just goes to show I should read books that I like, not books that are really hyped up. And yeah, I give it a try. Like the books that are really hyped up, I give them a try. And if I like them, I read them. If I don't, I don't. And this one, I DNF'd. Single mom Jessica Davis is a data and statistics wizard, but no amount of number crunching can convince her to step back into the dating world. Raised by her grandparents who now help raise her 7-year-old daughter Juno, Jess has been left behind too often to feel comfortable letting anyone in. Jess hears about Genetic Alley, a buzzy new DNA-based matchmaking company that's predicted to change dating forever. Finding a soulmate through DNA? The reliability of the numbers. This Jess understands. So, yeah, no. I think maybe I read 3 chapters of this and DNF'd it. So then the next one was this one, Find You First by Linwood Barkley, and I didn't get very far on this one at all. Tech billionaire Miles Cookson has more money than he can ever hope to spend, and everything he could dream of, except time. Only 42 years old, he's recently been diagnosed with a terminal illness, and there's a 50% chance that it can be passed down to the next generation. But Miles, a confirmed bachelor, doesn't have children. Or does he? So, 2 decades ago, struggling young Miles, who was desperate for cash, donated his sperm to a fertility clinic. So that part sounds really good. But then as it goes on, I think I only read like 2 chapters of this, he starts meeting the kids that he fathered through sperm donation, but then there's like an element of there's a killer wanting to eliminate Miles' offspring, and I'm guessing because he's a millionaire. But I didn't like the writing style on this one at all, so I DNF'd it. Boom, boom, boom. That is it. That is 4 books that I DNF'd just recently. But I have been reading some really good books, so that's okay. You win some and you lose some, and these just didn't do it for me, and that's okay. Right? Right. So if you like this video, I'd really, really, really appreciate a like and a subscribe. And don't forget to check back, because if you love my little free library tour videos, then you're going to want to check back, because the end of this month, which is July, we are going to South Dakota, and we will be doing little free libraries. So yeah, so you'll want to definitely check back for that. But don't forget to look at all my book review videos also. I have quite a few. In fact, I just did like several. Excuse me. I think that's all I got, guys. I'll see you next time.